Good morning from a glorious West Cork. The sun is shining. It's a great bank holiday weekend. There's a great country music festival going on in Ballytop at the moment. Everyone's camping out there, having a great time, except us. I am going to start to put some of these drawers into these cupboards and remove shelves, so hopefully tidy up all this space. And then I have to pop that plastic back over our cabinets because I'm going to take a shot at this. We got a good few comments back on the channel. Thank you very much to everyone who commented saying that maybe a week is all you need at the most. In fact, could be better to polish while it's still a little bit wet and a bit more pliable. So that's brilliant news. So that's what I'm going to work at now. Gonna do the shelves, gonna do a little bit of tidying up, gonna get polishing. And how about you, Claire?
I'm mulching.
Are you a happy camper this morning? What's happening?
It's fabulous weather.
Okay guys, one of the first jobs. Rooney, look what I have to deal with. American football and a bonkers red setter who thinks now's the time to play games. Alright, take two. We're under time pressure, so we're gonna get these drawers in. The first set of 3 sliding drawers, soft close drawers, I gotta go in here. Step 1 is clean. Step 2, fill it with shelves. And there's one. Let's try and do a second. And that's number 2. Let's try one more. And that's 3. Took a little bit of time. A bit more than I hoped, but it's always a bit tricky when you do the first one. So I know what to do now. However, this has shelves, so I must see, is it going to be easy enough to remove the shelves, put these drawers in. If possible though, let's try it in one go. 3, 2, 1. It wasn't that quick. This was the longest one. If you look at the sides here, you can see where we got a little bit of water damage from where we were keeping them. And the chipboard swelled, which wasn't very nice. And then I put the boards, these 2 shelves in the wrong location, so I couldn't fit this. Lovely soft close. So then I had to take these 2 shelves out, drop them out again, fit them in, blah blah blah, all done. So, not a bad bit of work done today. It's very fucking hot, like super hot. My next job now is to just tidy up, chuck out as much as the cardboard. I'm sure Claire will be happy for the trees. Get rid of as much as we can and fit this plastic back up. And then I might just do a test piece on this tonight. Well, I'm ready to grind in about an hour. I'll give it a test piece, but I'm ready to finish the grinding tomorrow. I'm hoping this won't take as long as the work Claire did on the floor. I'm hoping it'll be a lot easier because it's easier for me to reach. Oh my god, we're so excited. So long waiting for this to happen. But how about that? Isn't that a lovely view from my kitchen? Not too shabby. Right, tidying up in this sweltering heat in this June bank holiday weekend. Catch you later.
Good morning. Maybe afternoon now. It's Saturday. We had a good lie-in this morning. We were absolutely exhausted after last week. It is a scorcher of a weekend. It is the Ballytop Country Music Festival, so the village is buzzing. I am tackling a job that I've been needing to do for a long time, and now that I have my beans and peas in, which I will think I may have showed you the peas, I really need to mulch them because in this heat they just dry out so quickly, whereas if I had them mulched I wouldn't need to be watering them quite as much. The difference in the broad beans since I mulched them is pretty amazing. I'll show you that as well. I've kind of set up here. I have my tractor and my trailer and my mulcher, and I just need to get rid of these branches under here, and this area just there's too many branches that just need to be got rid of and mulched. So I'm going to set you up here in the back. So lovely here because it's so sheltered, and we've taken to sitting here as well in the evening time. You'll have a nice view that way while I do a little bit of mulching. and then I'll take you down to the garden to show you where we're going to put it. This is my second load, and this is what I'm doing. So these are the peas, mulch them all in. I just find that the water stays in the ground so much longer once they're mulched, and I don't worry so much about watering them, especially with the broad beans. They are constantly wet underneath here, and they're just flying up. So I'm hoping to finish here and finish these beans. Beans look a bit sick because I didn't plant them out very quick and they were kind of left for a long time, but I think they'll come around. They are looking a bit yellow, but also the fact that they've just been sitting in the ground, and we had a lot of dry weather and I didn't have them mulched either. So that's about to change. And then the last of the mulch I'm going to put here, because these are second earlies. They had a pile of mulch, they've had grass clippings. I just feel they need a little bit more. I did the same to my first earlies here and they are looking good. So I'll just put a little bit on here. Oh dear, you fell out. I have to put you in a bit better. Okay, and last mulch pile for now. So if I can get this done, we will be laughing. Right. Over. Finish off the potatoes. nearly forgot about my purple rains, so we might just go and put some on them.
Hey folks, just wanted to share with you a project we've been working on with the Patreons. We wanted something that'll bridge our YouTube channel with you guys, the awesome community. If you would like a piece of digital art that I created sent to you as a postcard with a message from us, then head on over to our Ko-fi store, pick up one of these bad boys, and we will send it out to you.
The number of prints are limited, so if you want one, head over now. Or join our Patreon and be involved in other projects like this one.
Good evening folks, how's it going? It's about 7 o'clock, Saturday evening. I see Claire across the way with her camera giving an update. I hope it's as good as mine. We're gonna wrap up now and, well, just chill out, see if Ash maybe wants to go to the beach. It's still quite warm. It's a nice evening, and I think we got some good progress done today. Now, I got a little bit tidied up. I got the dust covers gone up. I started to do a little test piece. Kind of cleared. I couldn't wait anymore. So, without further ado, here is what we got. This is using our polishing system without water, and this is using it with water. We saw online that these are actually for water, but there was a guy online, he said he didn't notice the difference with or without. Now to feel, this is amazing. This is really, really good. This, there's not much in it, to be honest with you, but I do think the water has an edge. I mean, I just think the water wets the substance that you've eroded or worn off, and it forms a kind of a slurry and it mixes it better. I'm gonna get Claire's opinion, but I reckon I'd be going for this. Now if we look close, we can see all the black little specks of sand, which is coming up well, so I'm glad we actually got the wrong sand. So this is unwashed sand, or this is unwashed aggregate or builder's gravel. I'm glad we accidentally got this. I think it looks great, and if you look close you can see some specks of limestone sand coming up also, which is pretty cool. I originally tried to use, this is the system I have here. I originally used 50 grit and it made the countertop really smooth, but you just couldn't see any aggregate. So I got my 50 grit flappy disc on the lowest setting and I just took the top off. And as you saw on the side there, here I'll show you again. Ugh. It doesn't take a lot just to take off the top layer of slurry. This is the kind of water that comes to the top. I've got loads of these discs. I'd rather use them up as opposed to burn out these, which are a bit more expensive. I think this whole set was maybe about 40 euros. Another thing off Amazon. As it happens, Claire has the exact same set, but she only has them on 4-inch and she used that on the drill. I have a 6-inch car polisher or boat polisher, whatever. It's a dual actuator, so it moves in kind of a figure 8, so you won't actually burn the surface. And again, I use that on the lowest setting. And I go from 50 to 150 to 300, 500 to 1,000 to 2,000. Dry and wet, and I'm voting for wet. I think this is a pretty easy system. The only thing I'd be cautious about is this flappy disc is very abrasive, so you gotta very lightly pass along the top because it will cut in. I can even feel 2 grooves there where it went down a little bit deeper. So when I'm doing this tomorrow, I'll do a first pass with this disc. I reckon to do all 3 countertops, it's going to be about 15 minutes with that. And then I'm going to use some water and I'm going to grind it. Probably it's going to be about 25-30 minutes per level, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As I get down to the finer grits, I won't actually need as much time, but certainly the earlier ones probably about 20 minutes each. I'm hoping maybe about 3 hours and I should be done tomorrow. What is awkward is this surface, so I did a little bit of a test piece there, and yeah, it's a bit hard, alright, to get it back. I didn't polish this. I'm not sure if I want to. I like the rough look, but it feels okay. The top feels great, the side feels okay. The main thing really is I want this smooth so that when it's sealed there's no kind of holes for any food or any oils or anything to go into. So I'm not too concerned at the side. I'm very happy with this. Like, seriously folks, for like you saw us do, it's very little DIY. If you want your dream custom kitchen, buy the carcasses from B&Q, pour whatever work surface you want, put whatever aggregate you want, put thicker stuff, put smaller stuff. We were contemplating putting shells in. I thought that would have looked amazing. We were contemplating putting in mosaic tiles. We decided not to do that because we have a really cool mosaic splashback going there. But go crazy. Put whatever colour. There's lots of dyes. Red, also we were thinking of red countertop. But then I don't know how we ended up going so vanilla as white. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to spend a fortune on these house renovations. Well, actually, you know what? Wait till I put the doors on the cabinets, and if it's awful, we'll have to get a custom kitchen in. But assuming it goes well, I don't think you have to spend a fortune. I'm very happy with that finish. Very happy. It's just a little bit wet now. I must see it when it dries back, or maybe it'll look this colour after an oiling. But very, very happy. Anyway, gonna wrap up now, gonna have a shower. Probably I might go down to the beach, although it's a bit late for that. We'll see. Catch you later in the morning. Ta-ra. The old paella pan strikes again. Yeah, buddy. I could almost say it needs salt, Clare. You know? Like the balsamic. Very peculiar strawberries, Clare. You know, the funny thing is, you used to get, you know, the Wexford strawberries at the side of the road. But then, they were all snapped up by Aldi and Lidl. Yeah. So, you can't get them anymore. Then the ones, Aldi and Lidl, they decided to go to like Spain to get them even cheaper, the strawberries. Then we're left with strawberries that look okay but taste mank. But now you can't get the Wexford strawberries anymore. There used to be a lot of them. Ooh, I'm blinded by the light. Shall I make one for Clare? How will we layer this fellow up?
Yeah, pancake would be good. That's good, honey.
Yeah?
There's like a taste of it. Ordinary honey that you buy in the shop doesn't have a taste. That could be really good.
Good morning, everybody. Another wonderful day down here in West Cork, and one that we have all been waiting for. It is the grinding of the countertop. Hopefully to get something like this on everything. First job for me is taping up. So I have a little bit more of this builder's film. I'm going to cover this table. Maybe I'll try and just cover the rest of the house, just close that off. Okay folks, it's absolutely scorching, and I was hoping to have the doors closed because I don't want this flapping, you know, and sending dust. It's already not great. The very top layer is exposed. I was thinking of trying a little bit of dust covering up there, but I don't necessarily want to tape anything to Clare's ceiling. Maybe that's a mistake, I don't know. But I do have a little gap there. So I wanted to keep the doors closed so the wind wouldn't blow everything around the place. But it's just so hot. It is boiling outside. Gorgeous June bank holiday. And I reckon I'm about ready to go. If I stop moving now, I can show you. This surface is gonna get ground. First of all, I'm going to use the flappy disc just to take the edge off the sides, take this, any bevels or lumps. And then, once the sides of the main peninsula is done, I'm just going to start here and I'm going to move up with the flappy disc. All I want to do at this point is just to expose that aggregate. Claire asked, do you think we'd get bigger stones? Because we have quite large stones in there, and I'm not sure we will without going deeper. I don't necessarily want to go deep because when you use a flappy disc like this, it kind of makes undulations, and I don't want to use the grinding disc, which would be better, but the grinding disc is made of metal basically, so if it hits a stone it's going to grind it out, but I'm just not sure that it won't tear the stone out and make a hole. This is why I want to use the flappy disc. And if that hits a stone, because it's flexible, it's just going to work around the stone. So I don't know will we get any big aggregates, and I don't want to spend too much time, so I'm just going to quickly go expose what I can, see what I get, and then I'm going to move to the back. I'm going to do the front of both sides, then I'm going to come back on the top. I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do next with the polishing pads. Well, it's just so hot. I don't know, can I do it with the door closed? Anyway, I have a brand new dust mask, which I'm fairly blasé about using these to the best of times, because I'll actually show you later. I have a neti pot that I use to clean my sinuses. I use it for free diving, so that's pretty good. But it's just the particles in the cement and the stones. You're grinding stone, so just get a really good P3 mask. I'm gonna have this on, so I'm not gonna talk much. Yay! Goes lots of people. But I'll come back to you and I'll show you what's happening after I do the grinding and I move on to the polishing. I won't need this because I'm gonna be wet polishing. There won't be any dust. But I'll show you that in a minute. Hey folks, so the camera actually overheated. It got very, very hot in here. I got the first grind done. It took an awful lot longer than I thought. I'm very happy though, quite happy with the outcome. Hard to see it now, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna let the dust settle for a little bit and then I'm gonna come back in and give this place a bit of a hoover. This counter was perfect. This was a nice little touch here. Just about the time you ran out. This will go great. This counter was perfect. You could tell there was a bit of a different mix here somehow, and I don't know if you remember me troweling this, but I kept finding bits of pine needles which have kind of come in, which I think look really cool. So happy with that. This one I am not terribly happy with. It feels so rough. I had to go back to the angle grinder, put it on the slowest setting. I raised the grit from 60 to 120, but I was ripping out everything. So I wonder if there was a problem with the mix. I can see large lumps of white, which might be some of the lime or some of the cement didn't actually mix properly. I'm just going to have to see what happens with this. It feels super rough, and when I rub it, just more sand comes out, so I'm not sure. This may need a different treatment, or this may need a special like sealant to help it go off. But like, look at all the stuff that was coming off here. Like, that's mental. Totally shouldn't have that much dust coming off. It's dust, like it's not even sand. It's crazy. I have no idea what it is. Unless all the cement or lime came to the surface. I don't know. Curious. Anyway, gonna let the dust settle. Gonna have a cup of tea. Come back, try a bit of grinding. And by grinding I mean polishing.
Good morning. Another baking day. It's Sunday and it's the bank holiday, and we are, why are you not charging? Come on. Okay, perhaps it is. I'm out here. I'm outside the bedroom door, which is just here, just because Rob is polishing the countertop inside, and the noise, you wouldn't be able to hear me talking. I'm just about to start the bedroom. I'm going to sand. The only thing to happen in there is to sand it, get that done. Then I've already sealed it off so that no dust will go down further to the house, although I'd say the whole house is just going to be one dusty mess because he's polishing at one end and I'm sanding at the other. Anyway, I'm in this horrendous suit on this warm day. It's not going to be pleasant, but it's going to get this done, and then after that I'm going to blow down the rough wall, which is the exterior gable end. We're only going to whitewash that. Hopefully, bit of a stretch goal now, get that whitewashed, and also paint. Yes, I cannot believe I'm saying the words. Paint the rest of the room. Now, I think I was advised by the man in Top Line Infantry to wipe the walls first because they would be so dusty. So I'll wipe down the walls, paint them. Bit of a stretch now, but anyway, we'll see how we get on. Hopefully there's not too much sanding to do. So look, there might be a few holes in here and there that I feel I probably should have done, but I'm not mixing any more plaster today. The next lot of plaster will be when we go upstairs, which is amazing, which will be next week. So it's great. So any other extra little pieces of plaster that have to be, literally it's just holes. You know, there are just a few holes by the door going out of our bedroom that might need to be addressed, and I haven't yet, but they also might need a little bit of expanding foam. I'll just have to see. They're quite large, so we could be in our bedroom tomorrow. This could be very exciting. So let me see how much I can get done, and I'll pop you inside. We'll get started with the sanding and let's go. Right, got you on. Oh god, the noise. Right, So, off we go. Got my horrible suit on. I don't want to get it in my hair. There we go. Off we go. Okay, sanding officially done. Oh Jesus. Anyway, that's the dirty part done. That is possibly the last big dirty part in this room. So it's great. So I'm gonna let the dust settle, have a quick cup of tea, see what Rob's at, because some funny noises coming from the kitchen, and come back and do a big clean up, get the hoover going. See you in a minute. Okay, and I'm back. So I started to tidy up, then I thought, what about this beam? Well, actually Rob said, what about the beam? That has to be sanded or cleaned. That's actually the side I've sanded. This is the unsanded side. So, sorry, I'm not sanding it. I'm using a floppy disk. Floppy disk? Floppy disk? Floppy disk. And it's coming up really nicely. Actually, you can see it's super smooth. It doesn't look smooth, but it's really smooth. But these lines are clearly where it was sawn. And I quite like that. So, I'm going to keep those. So, I'm doing that. I started that. Sorry, can you see it? Yes. And then because the grinder, this Bosch grinder works on battery, all my batteries gave up. So I've got 3 batteries charging here. Anybody who works with battery appliances will know it's a pain in the ass when you're waiting for a battery. But that's that. Can't really hurry that up anymore. So I've decided, and I don't know why you're not coming on, or maybe you're on. I've decided to just go straight into whitewashing. So I have made up my mixture. It's here in this bucket. It's like the consistency of double cream. It's perfect. I found my whitewashing brush, which is super. This is what I used on the gables. And I'm just going to get lashing it on and see what happens. I've given the wall a super good hoover. I have pulled out so many spiders' webs. I'm expecting the world of spiders to come out and get me. So they're kind of scary looking spider webs, but then when you see the spiders that come out, they're just like daddy long legs spiders, and yet they've got such impressive webs. You're expecting some like tarantula type creature to come out. But anyway, there are a few like this one that I think I would feel better filling with something, maybe a lime mix or something. Now, as I was hoovering, I realized how loose this render is. So I think in time we're probably going to take it off. But this is just to get us in the room. So I'm going to whitewash it. It doesn't matter. It's no big deal. We can easily tap this render off. As I was tapping it with the hoover, it was falling off. So that's an easy enough job. So, but for now, this is just to do for us to get in really and have it sort of as a clean wall. I'm using just the normal agricultural lime and water, nothing special, and away we go. I'm happy with that. I have finished the bucket, or I only had a quarter of the bucket anyway. I wanted to see how far it would go. So I'm going to just switch over now and finish this last little section of the beam and come back to this again and make up a new bucket. So I'll just twist you this way. Okay, the beam is done, completely smooth. I used a flappy disc. It actually contains 2 beams. Actually, this side is lovely because you can see all the ridges on it. It's completely smooth, it doesn't look it, but it's completely smooth. Then because I was doing this side and the underneath, it meant that these edges were quite, not sharp, but kind of, splintery, and I just had visions of people running their hands along them and getting splinters. So I've just taken the edge off that, so now it's just slightly rounded, just so that we don't have any accidents, and that's the beam done. So I'm back to whitewash. I've made another batch of whitewash, and so I'm going to keep going with this. And I'll probably get this batch up, and then I'd say we'll call it a night because it is 7:30. Bank holiday weekend on a Sunday. I need to get this done. I actually brought myself a little brush, an old little brush that might be able to get into some of the crevices a bit better.
Gosh, wouldn't you think there's an easier way to do it? Did you look up? Can you spray it now?
Let me see it, so use up this last bit. Check out the light coming from that window. One day I will be lying in that bath looking out at the sunset. One day. Anyway, not today. So I have done my little bit of whitewash. I will just show you, I've had to experiment slightly because I realized I was putting it on too thick and it was starting to crack in places, which it shouldn't do. I know it shouldn't. From when I put it the gable, it went on really well. So I obviously had that part was too thick. So then the bottom half here is slightly thinner, and that hasn't cracked at all. And then this section here is slightly thinner again. So I just want to see how they all dry. This was obviously the latest one to go on. This is still wet. But perhaps I certainly didn't need to have it that thick. So we'll see in the morning now what that looks like. But already, like with that section, it's just brightens the room so much. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. So just got to keep going. It's 10 to 9 now, and we're all a bit wrecked and tired, and I think it's time to just stop there. There's not much more going to be achieved tonight. At least this is ready now for just complete painting. So if I can get this whitewash done tomorrow, then I will paint the rest of the room. We have not a Dulux white, but it's called Top Line White, matte white, and I'm going to try that first because the plasterboard is going to take quite a lot of moisture, so it's just going to eat up the paint immediately. So I'm just going to put on this cheaper coat first. Now whether I go and do a second coat of it, I'll see how happy I am with it. Otherwise we may have to go Dulux, because Dulux Trade is definitely the best. As per Marion's advice, that's Rob's mum. She knows all about paint, everything to do with paint. She's the one to ask. So I'm going to see how I get on with my cheaper version first, just because I know it's just going to eat up the paint immediately. And then if we decide to do a second one, we might. And if not, I might go and get a more expensive paint, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm hoping to get the whole lot. Really shouldn't be a problem with trying to get the rest of this room painted tomorrow. We'll have to see, because we did promise our son a trip to the beach this afternoon, and that didn't happen. The day kind of ran away from us. So we may have to do a quick trip tomorrow to the beach at some stage. Just because obviously we're working away, and even though he should be studying for his junior cert, he deserves a trip out as well when it's a holiday weekend. So we'll leave it there, and I'll touch base with you tomorrow morning. See you then.
Okay, I have just given the place a really quick hoover. It's not perfect, but it gets a lot of the crud off, and I'm very happy how it's looking. Happy with this, happy with this. This is very rough. Apparently what happened is I troweled it too quick, and I don't know if you can remember, I'll see if I can find the footage, but I reckoned I poured these and I left a good hour or so for it to go a little bit hard so I could trowel it, but I reckoned this was a bit too wet to trowel. I did it anyway, and what that did is that brought too much water and cement to the top, and there was a slurry, a kind of a cream at the top of cement and water that went hard. And then when I tried to sand it, that cream just came off and I'm left with rough aggregate. So they say the answer is to wet polish it, which I'm doing, so hopefully it should work out okay. Because it's rough, I'd say that's going to eat through my 50 grit, so I reckon I'm going to do the two of these first. I'll do 50, 50, 100, 100, 300, 300, and when I'm done the two of these, I'll come back to that. I think that's the way I'm going to go. Let me get set up and I'll bring you back. Right. I'm not sure the most effective way to start this. Let's see how we go here. More water. Yes, it's good. Need a little bit. Wow, Claire.
Yeah.
This is sensational. Absolutely unbelievable.
I've got fucking 3 batteries charging here. I can't do anything.
I couldn't have imagined it ever looking this cool, Clare. Well, folks, I did. Let me show you. I did 50, 150, 300, and there's 500 on the grinder, which is there. And this is what we got. Lovely surface of 500. It's pretty nice, I have to say. I'm just washing down in between layers, trying to get up as much as the slurry as possible. It's okay, but it feels really good. It feels very nice. I am going to attempt 1,000. I wasn't going to do 1,000 because I had read that depending on the sealant you use, you maybe don't want to use 1,000. Well, let me rephrase. Certain sealants that stick, I think they're called top line sealants, they need to stick to the top, so if you make it too smooth they won't stick. Penetrating sealants, which go into the concrete, you can go up to any grade you want. So I think we're going to go with a penetrating sealant and oil. Well, I have tung oil. I've subsequently heard from one of our followers or from one of our commentators that there's something called lithium, I can't remember, which penetrates into it and bonds with the cells to make it stronger or something like this. And there's a few different ways of finishing. I'm not sure we're going to do that now. We might do it in the future. Like, we are very much stuck to a grant timeline, so we want to get this done and move on to the next project. So my thought was, don't grind it too much. Keep it at the 500. Put down our tung oil, see how it goes. In the future, if we're not happy, we can grind it back again and we can go with a different sealant. But Claire would like to try the 1,000. So that's what we're going to do now. So yeah, it's about 7:30. I finished this off with 100 or 1,000 grit and it feels brilliant, but there's a lot of dust still on it. So I think we're going to try and hoover it and see where we are. This turned out to be a disaster. Well, yeah, I tried the 50 and I tried 150 and it just wasn't cutting through the roughness. So I went back to the flappy disc and I gave it a serious grind down. And I got down to smooth. So now I'm going to try the hex pads, but yeah. This is a very important lesson. Do not trowel floats too early. Wait for it to set up a little bit and you won't have my mistake here. So the outcome of that really is that we have a hell of a lot of aggregate coming through. So this whole countertop, you can even see it here, it's quite a bit darker than the other one. So this is going to be really cool. It'll be a different countertop. We'll have to have a name for it, like the, I don't know, the drinks or the vegetable countertop, something cool like that. So I'm going to let the dust settle. I'm going to grab a hoover. If we have time, I might, it's only a small area, I might cycle through some of the pads. I'd like to get it done tonight because my hand is just, and I'd say I'd like to take a bit of a rest from that grinding tomorrow and maybe do some sealant. We'll see. It's 9:30. We're getting there. This is close to where I want it to be. I have 2 more grits, a 500 and 1,000. This is looking really good actually. It's looking better than the other ones because there's so much more aggregate exposed. So if I like this, I'll show you in a minute, but if I like this, it means going back to the very beginning on the other 2 counters with the grinder and grinding down to get all of this aggregate out, which I don't think I want to do, but that option is there, I suppose. if this countertop, you can see a little bit of aggregate coming through. If I want these two countertops to look like this in the future, I can. It's nice to know that little layer, millimeter or two underneath. This is that kind of a finish. Anyway, I thought I'd just quickly show you how I do this. It doesn't take long at all because, as I say, we're at 500 grit, so there's not actually a huge amount to come off. It's just a little bit of dust really. So I'll do 500 and then I'll do 1000, and I'd say we'll call that done for the night. Let's go. So it's pretty wet already, but I just want to give enough water coverage so that my grinder can grind, and with the dust that it kind of scoops up, we want it to form kind of a paste, and that paste helps to polish. So I start up the whole way, then I do horizontal, then I usually finish with one up, but I want to give this a good dose, so I'll give it a second horizontal. Let's go. Okay, so that's my it's called a dual action. Apparently this is quite a good one. I bought it about 10 years ago, I think, or more, maybe 15 years ago. The dual action means it rotates, but it goes in and out and left and right, so it makes a figure 8 roughly. So it means that you can leave it and it won't burn. So it's very good for cars and for boats, and it's very good for concrete. Okay, so now this has been done, it's still a little bit wet, but there's a layer of a very fine sort of a slurry paste. So with a relatively clean cloth, you again want to, I know Claire used a wet and dry vacuum, but you just want to wet it, activate the slurry. Then I try to use both sides of a clean cloth. I hold one corner, with the other one I kind of try to scoop up as much, so you get up a nice bit there in that. Flip it over and get another little bit, all that sort of stuff. So this is like, I think of it like that's 500 grit size dust, so we want all of that gone when we do the final 1000 grit. Otherwise, if there's 500 grit dust, it'll continue to scratch 500 grit sized scratches. We want all of those gone so that we can focus on the 1000. And I'm not sure I'm going to go beyond the 1000. Now I have 2000 and 3000, so I might do them in the morning. I'm just not certain. I want to go through that effort. Essentially it won't look any different, it'll just feel different. But I'm not sure how smooth I want this to be. Okay, there we go. $1,000, ready to go. So now we get a little bit of clean water, and we just coat it again. And that's it. Again, we just try to take off whatever slurry we can. Okay, that's a long day. I'm going to I'm gonna have a shower. It's 10. Another long day tomorrow, I'd say. See you in the morning. Good morning, folks, from a dusty West Cork. Little bit overcast, but man, it's hot out. So last night, I kind of had all this finished. Super happy with the work surface. Looks amazing. This one that messed up actually looks way better than the other two. So if we don't like this in the future, which I love it, but it's nice to know that if we grind this surface down a little bit, we always are going to have this wonderful surface. So that kind of puts us at ease that we can try different methods to seal it, to grind it, whatever. I was all set to finish it with tung oil. I was using this because it's quite a natural product and it's been used for like 3,000 years in China. It's from the tung nut, from the tung tree, and apparently it's like the primo natural surface. Boiled linseed can go a bit rancid. The tung oil is food safe. Danish oil has bits of varnish in it. We don't want a topical sealant, we want something that'll penetrate. We're going for tung oil, but then what are you doing?
I'm giving a filter.
Do you understand how strange this looks? Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I went all the way up to 1,000 grit, and Claire came in and she was like, "Feck it, let's do 2,000 and let's do 3,000." Correct?
I think because it is lovely. Why not try? It can only get better. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. So today, here's the 2,000 and this is the 3,000. So I'm just going to give, it's really quick actually once you get up to the high grits. The surface is so smooth, it just kind of glides over it. But I'm just going to do a quick 2, then a quick 3, and I don't know, can this oil be applied when it's wet? I must have a read the instructions and yeah, I'll get back to you. Good afternoon, folks. It's been a few hours. I've done my 2,000s, I've wet vacked. I've done my 3,000, I've wet vacked. I gave it a dry vac. I gave it as good a clean as possible. I started on the oil. I thought I'd show you this now so you can see the difference. This is applying a generous coating of oil. And I'm going to let this on for 20 minutes and I'm going to rub off any excess. I started down the bottom, so don't have much time to do it. I'm using 100% pure tung oil and let's see how it goes. Apparently you can go up to 7 coats, but I'd say I'll stick it with 3. I think I'm going to finish with a wax. I'm not sure if Claire will have her bees sorted. We can use our beeswax to finish it. If not, we'll try and see can we get something locally. In a little while, at request from our son who's starting his junior cert this week. Thumbs up for Ashton in his junior cert. He wants to go to the beach, get a bit of sunshine, so why not? So we're only doing a few light jobs today. Now, we just use a cloth to wipe off the excess. There you go, guys. Concrete, ground and polished to within an inch of its life. Tung oil applied, excess rubbed off, and I think we just wait 24 hours. It should be a little bit more solid. Hopefully no creatures jump up on it. We're gonna have a cup of tea, aren't we, Claire?
Oh my god, yes.
And then should we try and go for a swim?
Me and Rooney stay here and paint the bedroom. Do you know what? I'd do anything to get into that bedroom.
Anything?
Anything.
Well, when we came home, we had such a good day at the beach, we decided to take the evening off and we got a bottle of wine and cracked open to enjoy a sunset.
We never even knew this space was so beautiful here at the back of the house. We had such a lovely evening together. Thank you so much for watching and commenting and liking, and join us on our journey, or to follow our journey, please do subscribe, or to support us, you can click on the links below.
See you later.
Slán go fóill.